Why it's important to study Srila Prabhupada's books? Because Srila Prabhupada's books are giving the most scientific and most authentic understanding of the spiritual reality in the most simple way. There is another reality beyond this material nature. This is the world of matter, and beyond that there is another world of spirit. In this material world also we see that two things are existing simultaneously, side by side, matter and spirit. Matter by itself is not manifest or cannot function. Just matter cannot function. It is the presence of the spirit, the soul, that makes the matter manifest. We all are here, that's why this material world is manifest. When no one will be here, will this matter be manifest? No. Then it's a state of unmanifest. So, this material nature becomes manifest when the living entities are projected into this material nature by Krishna's glance. So, the living entities, the spiritual beings, they are not a product of the material nature. They are coming from the spiritual reality. But that reality is beyond our sense perception. So something that is beyond our sense perception, how can we get to know that? So in order to get to know about that reality, we need informations, authentic information about that reality, imparted by the individuals who are aware of that reality. To begin with, the knowledge about that reality came from Krishna himself. At the time of creation, Krishna imparted the knowledge to Brahma. And then through a line of disciplic succession, this knowledge is flowing. So, the personalities who are aware of the spiritual reality, the personalities who belong to that disciplic succession, they are the only ones who can impart that knowledge. It cannot come from anywhere else. So Prabhupada is a personality who is carrying that knowledge. And he has very mercifully given that knowledge. Now, well, there are individuals who can retain the informations just by hearing. But most of us are not able to do that. We need to go through it again and again and again to first even to conceive it and then to retain it, to understand it. So that's why Prabhupada gave them in the form of books. The knowledge that he gave, he spoke extensively, but he knew how smart we are. He knew what is the state of our memory. So that's why Prabhupada made it a point to present those informations, present that knowledge in a very systematic way through his books, through his Bhaktivedanta programs. And that's why Prabhupada's books are so important. And that's why Srila Prabhupada so painstakingly presented these books. And that's why Prabhupada's loyal followers are so sincerely, so earnestly distributing these books all over the world so that people can benefit. And we are seeing how people are benefiting. Like, had we not have come across Srila Prabhupada's books, we couldn't have been. So that's why Prabhupada's books are so important. These books are meant to change this world. This world is going in a very, very devastating course. And it is Srila Prabhupada's books that can actually prevent that destructive consequence. You see, to understand what bhakti is, Prabhupada decided that we must study those four books. As you know, like Bhagavad Gita is a very basic understanding of the spiritual reality. Not only basic, but it is the most scientific, most authentic understanding of the spiritual reality. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is speaking about the spiritual reality. So what can be more relevant and more important than this book? So that similarly, Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, like these are the books which Prabhupada wanted us to study. That's why he translated these books. And well, like he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was giving. That's why Prabhupada designed it in that way. These are the books for Bhakti Shastra. Then after that, Bhakti Vaibhav. Then Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Sarvabhauma. So this is how step by step, like just as you go from school to college to university. So similarly, these are the basic stages of development of understanding. It's difficult. It's not possible, especially this subject. Therefore, you need a teacher, a spiritual master. Like to study this subject, you need a spiritual guide. And like any other subject, actually. Now, this subject, when the teacher teaches you, a good teacher, how does he do it? He just doesn't tell you in the class. He gives you homework. And then you prepare the course, the studies. And then at the end of the term, at the end of the semester, comes the exams. You sit for the exams, and that determines how well you have studied, how well you have prepared. So that's why this Bhakti Shastra course has been designed by Srila Prabhupada, and that's why it's so important. Well, in various ways, first of all, they are getting an opportunity to study the subject systematically. If it's left on my own, then probably I won't do it. But when there is a compulsion that I have to present these results or outcome of my study in this way, then I'm compelled to become serious about it. That's one advantage. The guidance of a qualified teacher is another advantage. The association of other students is another advantage. Coming to an environment where everybody is geared up to achieve the same thing is another advantage. And then most of the times, you come to a temple, so when when a candidate comes and stays in the temple, he gets the understanding of the spiritual life through the association of devotees. Like one aspect of Bhakti Shastri course also is to attend the programs in the temple. So these are all the added benefits, like it's not only giving you the knowledge, it's giving you a practical experience of the life, the practical involvement in the culture. So these are the benefits to name a few. You get to understand what Srila Prabhupada's teachings are. You get to understand what Srila Prabhupada wants. So this is how you actually become prepared, or rather prepare yourself to become engaged in serving Srila Prabhupada, which actually is the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to save the world, save the suffering conditioned souls. So that is why Srila Prabhupada came. He came to alleviate the suffering condition of the world, material world. And when you get to know the state of one's existence in the material nature, and when you get to know that beyond this material nature there is a spiritual reality, so that spiritual reality is where you came from, then not only you try to fix yourself on that course, but by the time you develop such compassion for others, seeing their suffering condition, that you also want to bring them into that. And that is the most effective way of helping Srila Prabhupada and serving Srila Prabhupada. So and by doing Bhakti Shastri, you are actually becoming aware. You see, you are not doing something just because others are doing it. You are not doing it just because you have been told to do it by others, by your authorities. Then you realize why it is necessary to do it. Therefore, your involvement in service to Srila Prabhupada becomes more real and more earnest. As I say, that it's not just a knowledge, but how effectively we are acquiring that knowledge. Like, say for example, there are there is a possibility of learning something on my own. Now, if I get an opportunity to go to a school and learn the same subject, won't it be easier? And then, if I have the opportunity to go to the best school, what's the difference? Why you go to the best school, or why one aspires to go to the best institution to study something? Because of the best teachers, the best course material, best environment, and the association of the people, best of the students. So that's why, you see, this is how it benefits. Like, you are getting an opportunity to come to Mayapur, or go to Vrindavan, or go to Radhadesh, or go to any ISKCON temple where the courses are available. Along with that, along with this opportunity to study, you are getting a whole lot of other impetuses and opportunities to become an expert. And then by doing that, all that, the association of the teachers, association of the students, being in the temple, prepares you in a better way to serve Srila Prabhupada. Just like, I'll give you an example. You're from UK. Like, somebody can join the army. He may study he may qualify himself from, say, an university, and after completing his studies, he may join the army. But at the same time, there is another thing called Sandhurst. It's the college for preparing the military, it's called commissioned officers, military officers. Now, when it comes to practical, application or practical course, then it is seen that the Sandhurst students, those who are coming from Sandhurst, they shine forth better than others. They eventually become generals and things. Why? Because they have been groomed up in a certain way for that purpose. So similarly, through these courses like Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, one is getting groomed up to serve Srila Prabhupada. Like this grooming up, you won't get studying somewhere else, right? So that is the difference, you see, like you get the grooming up. You get prepared for that course, for that purpose. Those who are serious about spiritual life, those who have the time, those who are generally inclined towards studies, those who are intellectually inclined, those who are, those who seriously want to prepare themselves to become engaged in Srila Prabhupada's mission, those who want to preach. In order to preach, you have to know the subject. You have to know what you are preaching. That's why Prabhupada was so particular about his disciples or his devotees reading the books, ISKCON devotees reading the books. Like Prabhupada was very emphatic about it. Prabhupada used to make it very clear that he was writing these books for the sake of our devotees. I mean, I don't know whether you all know, I used to serve Srila Prabhupada, and I saw how Prabhupada used to, how painstakingly he had translated and given the purpose of all these books. Sometimes you'd go to bed at 9 o'clock and you'd get up at 11 o'clock, just 2 hours sleep. And we used to set up his table, books, dictaphones, and Prabhupada, used to get up and straight away, after washing his mouth, and he used to just straight away he used to come to the table, and he used to just translate. And it's not just once or twice, like night after night, he was just doing that. And during the day, Prabhupada was extremely busy. Hundreds of devotees wanted to meet him. Hundreds of people wanted to have his darshan. So during the day he was just preaching, and throughout the night he was translating. Like, why did he do that? Like, we used to be with Srila Prabhupada in shifts. At night, our shifts were 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6. No, 2 to 4 actually. So at 4, those one who used to come at 4 o'clock, that means, like he would be with Srila Prabhupada. That was, like, so from 10 to 4, these were the 3 shifts, And one of us used to be there. My shift generally used to be from 10 to 2. And at 2 o'clock I would just go and go to bed, sleep. Now mind you, Prabhupada, just carried on from 10 to 4, non-stop. Well, we, after 2 hours, we crashed out. But Srila Prabhupada continued. This is how amazing Srila Prabhupada was. And why did he do that? Just so that we can benefit. These books are an inconceivable storehouse of transcendental knowledge. Anybody who wants to know about the spiritual reality can just come to Srila Prabhupada and realize that it is a reality. It is not just some concocted ideas. It is not a fairy tale that has been presented in the Vedic scriptures. The Vedic scriptures are presenting the absolute truth. Vedic scriptures are giving us the information about a reality that is beyond our sense perception. And those who are serious about that purpose, those who are serious about taking advantage of the human form of life, must read Prabhupada's books. Must read Prabhupada's books. Because then only he'll understand what's the mission, what's the goal of his life.